Thunderstorms all morning long. I wanted to break down why exactly we're seeing this potential. Number one, at the surface, we have a lifting mechanism. That's a cold front because, again, with cold air close to the ground, that forces warm air to rise out ahead of the cold front. That's where we have our strong to severe thunderstorms pushing through. We even have a couple tornado warnings within that line in Georgia and just to the north of Columbia as well. You also need moisture. This is one of the other main ingredients you need, and we have plenty of it streaming in from the Gulf, from the Atlantic as well. And you need something called instability. You can think of this as storm energy or storm fuel. And this, again, our storms will move through and they'll be able to access that. We have certainly moderate instability, nothing like what we saw yesterday across portions of Mississippi and Alabama. There's just enough there to where, again, we do have that potential for strong to severe weather. And lastly, especially for tornado potential, you need something called wind shear. I broke this down earlier. You notice these blue arrows from out of the south and west. Those are winds at 10,000 feet. Meanwhile, closer to the surface in orange, and they're different directions completely. You notice the surface winds are from out of the south and east. So that's wind shear. The actual definition is change in wind direction or speed or both with height. So downstairs, southeasterly winds, not as strong as our upstairs winds from the south and west. We have wind shear in place. This allows for storms to rotate, and it's why we have the possibility for tornadoes, and it's why we've already seen a couple of tornado warnings within that main line as well. Looks like the one in Georgia expired. The one in Bamberg County has expired as well, but there's still a tornado warning just to the north of Columbia. We'll watch that line here as we go through the next several hours because, again, there certainly is the possibility for a tornado today. We're under a tornado watch through 2 p.m. the entire low country. So if you're watching us right now, this does include you as well. Storm Team 2 Viper radar. Let's dive right into this because I want to show you what I've been kind of tracking over the last couple of hours here. Just off to the west of Orangeburg, really beginning to push through places like Bamberg and Bamberg County. Right now, we have this little bit of an S curve, and while there isn't much rotation, there's no tornado warning at this point. Thankfully, things have weakened. We still have a little bit of a curve. This is a Boeing line segment here. So what does that mean? That means winds are rushing out ahead of that thunderstorm, potential for some damaging wind gusts. This is one of those clear signals to me that, hey, this storm does have the possibility for some wind gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour, making step. It's not quite here just yet. We'll watch this as we go through the next couple of hours. Wind damage is the number one concern. I just talked about the Boeing line segment. We could see that as we go through the next couple of hours, and we can't rule out an isolated tornado as well. So for all this, that's why we declared a weather alert day for today, for that potential for severe weather. So keep an eye on it. Look, I know it's a holiday weekend. You're probably thinking about getting outdoors. Just keep in mind we still have that possibility for severe weather on the table. In general, that timeline is from now through the evening hours. And so that will be Colleton County earlier, and then Georgetown, Williamsburg County later. So again, for all of us, it's just one of those days. I want you to stay weather aware. Great way to do that, by the way. Download the Storm Team 2 weather app. It'll keep you up to date.
All right. Thank you, Chad. Thanks for